How do I put together a 45-minute stream, or sometimes more, sometimes a bit less, every week and still get any work done and also have a baby? Well, today I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a YouTube headline and say, I'm going to show you my secrets. And that is a long title sequence for a long show. Right. So first things first, I'm using a very flaky version of CueCam today. I may click on it and it may crash. So like if I do disappear for a moment, that's probably what happened. I'll be back in a moment. But yeah, this is Squares TV App Lab number 59, where I show you how to tie together your Mac, iPhone and iPad with all the apps I've been making and talking about via Squares TV. This is a Zoom call on Office Hours Global, and I will be streaming, I'm currently streaming my camera to YouTube. I see Jeff in the chat. Hello, how are you doing? Good to see you. And you'll see, yeah, things have come a little bit of a way last time we were around, and we've got a couple of people on Zoom. I'm just going to go over some stuff today. So updates first. I've been working on this new editor, like a maniac, and also there is a baby. So it's it's starting to come together. I'm sort of in two minds as to whether to show you. Or maybe I'll give you I'll give you a little sneak peek since you came by. So, but trouble is we're going to get infinite regress there. But here's I should hide the slide at least. So we've got a bit of a new thing going on here. If I press stop here, actually, then and then share my desktop, you'll be able to see. Like click through here. See my different slides, add like secondary, we can add secondary headings, we can drag, secondary, we can have quotations, we can click like add a bullet point, so it's going to be a nice new editor. It's all going to be a lot more fluid, a lot more a lot clearer, I hope. But that's work in progress, but let's cut. So if I just click back on that slide, we've got the music playing again. So yeah, that's the updates. Now, this is the baby, by the way. We've got, wait, what happened? Okay, and here. This is the goofiest picture of the baby that currently exists. Right. So I was going to talk about how I do this every week, because I thought, hey, I think that could be an interesting conversation. And mainly I'm going to go into like the millions of bits of gear that are involved. But then I'm going to talk a little bit more about process and just kind of show you some, because I'm kind of coming up with an hour of planned content every single week. And it's hard to do that around everything else, but actually it's not that hard because I've got some tech that I've made, but also some gear. And so I'm going to show you the gear first, because I think I haven't really done a full rundown of the gear, and the tech does make this possible. So let's just go through it. So I've got an M1 and MacBook Pro 14-inch with a big hard drive, so I don't have to worry about running out of video storage space. Then we've got, is this like not navigating? What's happening here? I have got a second monitor, so it's always good to plug in a second screen. I have got a Canon R6. So this is a lovely, crisp, colourful video, and this is coming off a pretty nice Canon camera. And then I've got this zoom lens on it, so I can crop it in a bit. So it's just quite easy to, if it's, if you're sort of seeing a bit of backdrop, I can just kind of crop it in a little bit, and we're all good. And then it's just that the reason I've got this this camera is just because it's got a really nice autofocus, and I like the color, and I'm in Canon S-Log mode, so this has got a LUT applied, so we've got nice vibrant color, nice and crisp, focusing on the eyes. So I think that's how to kind of like, and this is just how do we make it look good. I'm now using an Elgato prompter, which I actually really like. I used to use like an iPad with Duet and things, but this is just a really nice way to just have everything in one unit, and it's just hanging off that Canon lens on a stand. And the stand is one of these things, so I've just got a desk stand with the camera and the teleprompter on it, and then the laptop is on a stand behind that. I've got this IKEA standing desk, so it's useful to have a standing desk because you might want to stand up when you're doing a presentation. I'm currently sitting down because I can't hang the backdrop quite high enough for it to not be showing the top of it, because this is a rental, so I'm sort of sitting down today. But yeah, this is I had an electric one, but this sort of manual one is quite good. I've got this Rode NT USB and an Elgato mic arm. I did have a cheaper mic arm, and it just did my head in all the time because it didn't stay where I put it, and it didn't have the articulation. So I sort of just ended up getting the more expensive one. But the Rodent is one we got when we started podcasting, I don't know, like 5 years ago. I got it because my podcasting co-host had bought that one, and so I wanted to have the same one so I could help her troubleshoot it. But the thing I really like about it is that I can plug headphones into it as well. So I'm using wireless headphones today because I'm sick of being plugged into things. So you're going to see this slightly ugly in-ear nubbin. But yeah, it's nice that it's got an output so you can do direct monitoring, which isn't true of all microphones. I've also got a Stream Deck Mini, which is how I'm navigating through my script, and how I'm sort of like doing a side 3D, and how I'm jumping into my desktop, and that's all just, I'm running through a script. And I've got this backdrop. This was kind of a revelation. I didn't realize how big these were. This is like 2 meters. So it's like 2 meters this way by 1.5 meters this way. You can ask the computer what that is in feet and inches. But so you get a grey side, which is great, which is why the colours sort of look a lot more vibrant than they did before. So I'm shining lights on it, and it just doesn't, on a white wall, it just won't pick it up as nicely as it does on a little bit of a grey. But the fact is, I can also flip this round and have a green screen. So I'm sort of looking forward to doing a bit more green screen stuff in the near future. And I've got these light bars. There's an app, so if I want to change the color of the background, so you get quite a lot of bang. And so I have quite a clean background, so I can draw on it and do things like that. But also then you can sort of like change the vibes. Just sort of find a nice color that you like and kind of bring that in. But I think we'll stick with the blue because I think that's quite a cool look. So yeah, it's just a little iPhone app that you can adjust the colors on. And then I've just got a key light just shining down from above, and that's so it's sort of like an umbrella thing with a diffusion thing on it. And then I've just got like an LED light in there, but you can put anything. You could put like a ceiling panel in there, and that would be pretty good. So this is to sort of get a bit more of a fill light. So that's the kind of and then an iPad with so it's an iPad 10th generation. It's not one of the expensive ones. It's not an iPad Pro or anything, and this is just for doing all the video pencil stuff, and I can see my program feed on there. I can see what I'm doing, and that is so. And then the headphones are these. I've just got some wireless ones in today, and then how's that connected? So I've got the camera. So the camera is sort of like above the laptop on the stand with the teleprompter hanging off it, and then that's on the desk. So then the camera is plugged into the computer via like a USB B adapter, and the what was I going to say? Yeah, the prompter is just plugged in over USB as well, and the mic is just it's quite handy just having the mic on the USB as well. So it's not an amazingly I think it's quite a kind of neat but not too overcomplicated setup. So so I haven't got too many wires hanging off my computer, and I haven't got too many sort of random variables involved. But I've got like a really nice crisp camera and really nice, the sound is good. So But you know, that's the tech part. That's the how do I host this thing? How do I share it? And but like that's not really what makes these. That's not really the point, is as the conversation over on the After Hours channel was going just now. Like, how do I actually kind of, because like I've done a lot of live streams where I've just winged it, like I've just turned up and do whatever I'm doing. But for these After Hours labs, I really feel like I have to have a certain amount of preparation done, which is I'm sort of allergic to some extent, because I just. But you have this thing where the temptation of winging it is sometimes it goes really well and you just winged it and you're like, yeah, I'm amazing, I can wing it. But the trouble is, like 4 out of 5 times it doesn't go that well when you wing it, and so you kind of have to plan in order to make all 5 out of 5 times sort of okay, and not like have really bad shows all the time, which is sort of the risk of. And I'm talking about not just about live streams, I'm talking about playing live music in front of people, you know, like doing gigs and all the different ways, or just doing a talk at work. The number of times I've just turned up, and sometimes it goes well and sometimes it goes very badly. So planning is something that I've been building into my life a lot more. Especially as I know that I'll get. It's impossible to avoid the feedback when you're in the office hours world. So yeah, it starts with a coder doc, believe it or not, where I plan out. Basically, I sort of drive it from what the email that I send out is going to be. So I'm sending out an email to a few thousand people every week saying what I'm going to do. So I kind of want that to have some sort of hook in it, and so. Instead of sort of coming from what I want to talk about, if I come to what that's going to look like from the outside, then you're a bit more likely to sort of come up with something that makes sense to people. Then I've got my CueCam script, which I'll show you a little bit of, and basically each week, when you've got a show, you just like save as each week, and then I kind of like edit the new stuff in. Sometimes I'll like make a separate script if it's this particular presentation that I'm going to give again, but most of the time I'm just like saving as my CueCam script, and this is what I'm going through now, and it's very quick to edit, so I can just sort of have a few thoughts and spend half an hour like putting a load of things down, and then I know I'm going to have some rails, like I know that I'm going to have something to talk about when it comes to it. And then eCam Live is how I'm pushing this to YouTube, and that's just, you know, like it's nice. It sort of links into the YouTube chat, so I can kind of see what's going on, and it helps me make an event. But yeah, and it's sort of, you know, I can have more scenes if I need them. But generally, I'm kind of doing everything through CueCam. So what does let's have a look at the coder doc, which is, if I just open this, I'm worried that if I pull off my pinned window, it's gonna. So let me show you my coder doc is each week. I'll kind of go new email please, and it'll give me a little form to fill in. And what's in the form? I've got like a little preview of what the email is going to look like. I've got a main headline, main body, secondary headline, second. So I can put some stuff in there. Maybe there's some acknowledgements needed. I've got a slot for that. And then I've got a link, an event link, thumbnail URL. So what I'll tend to do there is, so here we've got, you know, how I still go live every week with a newborn baby. I put a bit of content in there, and then I'm just previewing it up here. I'll go and sort of create my thumbnail in Figma each time, which hopefully we haven't lost our page yet. So in Figma, I have all of my, and you see actually, like, you see this background, it's exactly this background. So CueCam lets you just Command Alt F and just take a screenshot and save it to your desktop, and just take a shot of the video feed. So that's kind of all I did there. And then my Figma doc is this sort of like ever expanding, you know, sort of ever expanding sort of like copy paste, you know, try a couple of things, copy paste, make a little layout, but you sort of see, I can scroll back in time and see sort of each week what I did each week. Oh well, there's not that many there. Okay, this must have been once I started doing the YouTube ones. So I'll kind of take that, I'll get that onto I'll get that into, wait, what are we looking for? We're looking for this window. I'll get that into here, and then I'll generate, and what this generates is actually like this, a little bit beyond the scope of what I'm talking about today. Is like once I've generated this email, this creates a markdown rendering of it, which you can sort of see as this templated thing in Coda, where I can put some CSS and I can sort of template in the different bits of content that are needed and style it, and then that gives me the ability to just copy some markdown. And then I have a tool that lets me paste some markdown into an email and send it out to my mailing list. But that's very specific and very handmade. But if you had, like you could just as easily make like an HTML output or just something that works with MailChimp that you can sort of paste your email into once you've figured it out here. And then, so, I've got some things like, okay, I did have this idea of sort of a schedule. And then in here, I kind of calculate which week of the month it is, and sort of like it gives me the template. And this week, once again, I am ignoring schedule, but if I don't ignore schedule, then we'll get in the bottom of that email, it will take a moment, in the bottom of that email there's the little kind of what item of the month are we in. So it's like but the idea with all this is just start from the perspective of that email that's going to go out, make sure there's a thumbnail, make sure that stuff's all ready. And then CueCam is the secret, to be honest. It's the main secret to keeping this going. And it, I've always run these labs. At first, it was through BeatSheet, where I was doing a lot more with Ecamm. But now this is really all just coming straight through CueCam, and I don't really need much else to keep these running, and I can put quite a lot of content through it, and I think it comes across pretty well. And it's a live show. It's a certain kind of thing. But yeah, like this is what, again, this is kind of what that looks like. We've got my script. I've got my little things. I've got where I've pasted some images in, and then I can sort of preview I can sort of preview and see what my slides are going to look like. And like if I want to add any text in, I can do that. And then if I've got like my intro video, I can put that up. So yeah, sort of like, but it's just a way of sort of iterating. Oh, that's weird. Oh yeah, so there's a video on there. Oh, do you know, that's interesting. But wait, this is the buggy version of CueCam, which this is still a work in progress. This view, this isn't what you'll see if you use CueCam just yet. But yeah, you see, we're just sort of like putting a few slides together and talking about stuff. But yeah, so the next question becomes like what to talk about. And something I've personally, I think you can either spend a lot of time trying to like think about what you're going to talk about and planning a thing, and sort of a lot of time on a presentation, or you can spend a lot of time on doing something that you're doing a presentation about. And often if you've done a lot of work on something, then the presentation comes pretty naturally. If you've been looking at something, if you're really interested in a subject, then pulling that into a presentation is a really quick process. If you're sort of like trying to make conjure something out of thin air, and you don't really know what you want to talk about, it's a lot harder to pull together anything coherent, because you don't have anything to back it up. You don't have any sort of, I don't have screenshots. I can't switch to the preview of the thing I'm working on, which I can do if I'm going to talk about, what's new in CueCam each week. And I think that works for sort of YouTube video production as well. It's sort of like, it's not so much the filming and the editing as it is, well, what am I actually doing? What's my project that I'm putting on YouTube? What is this going to be? Like that if you spend more time making a thing and less time making the video content, and I think that's much more interesting than spending ages polishing a video which is about not very much. And then really it's just, if you are on a schedule, every single week you have to put something out, it just forces you. Like, every week I'm like, oh God, it's 2:00 and I still haven't even started planning my session this week, which is extremely bad, which is extra bad when the clocks have changed in the US and not in the UK. So I keep getting caught short with 1 hour less, because these things start at 5 instead of 6 in the UK at the moment. So I keep sort of like, I'm just going to do all these changes to the app and then start the planning. And it's like, oh my God, I ran out of time. Hey, that's okay. But yeah, I think subject matter, if you just like the project or the thing you're doing, if you can sort of be devoting your effort to the thing you're actually working on, and then it's pretty easy to make an interesting talk because you've got all the stuff. And also, if you're in the habit of talking about stuff or doing these videos, you're going to be collecting the media and the things you need as you go along. So, when I'm having a good time, on a good week, I will start next week's CueCam presentation doc like on the Thursday, and I'll start throwing things into it as I do them through the course of the week, rather than sort of leaving it to the last minute and doing it on Wednesday before I've got to go live. So I think that's sort of like how that's what I wanted to talk about, really. How do I keep this going? What is the technology? What are the tools? What are the workflows? But I also wanted to say like what's the real reason that I'm able to do this? Even though it's not, I don't know, like we're making we're selling a couple of CueCams here and there. We're selling a few shoots. We're selling a few video pencils. It's just enough to sort of like keep the lights on, but only, and I could say this is all down to my amazing work ethic or talent or various productivity life hacks, of which I have many. But there is a reason that I get to even develop all of those skills in the first place. So I just wanted to touch on privilege for a minute. Like, why do I get to do this? Well, first, because I'm white, I'm male, I'm English. People can understand me when I talk like in English, and I sound a little bit posh. Like, I had early access to the tech. So the reason I've been able to build all this stuff, the reason that I've learned how to use the computers, the reason that I've like been able to really engross myself in all this is this, my dad brought a computer into the house when I was like 6 years old, and I've been interested in it ever since. So that's like, not everyone's going to have that. The next thing is employability. Like, I can get away with murder in the workplace because I look and sound right. Like, so I think like some of my kind of, when I was younger and more kind of like ambitious and, like always like ranting about something or other, like I think that I could only get away with that by being male and white, and like that's just not something that, even women are able to do. And certainly if you have an accent, or you're a person of color, or you have a disability, or whatever these different things are, you're just not going to get the chance to do that. So I had that. So I was able to like meet people, be able to garner their respect pretty quickly, learn a lot from other developers, learn a lot from other creators, be given the benefit of the doubt when I didn't maybe do a great job, because everyone just like thinks you're doing a good job because you've got that thing. So I think that's a really important aspect of what lets me sort of now be my own boss, know how to do an awful lot of technical stuff, have a certain amount of experience in this industry that, like really helps me kind of do a good job on things. Social capital is just another one. Like, you could, if you come from a working class background and you don't sound right, it's really hard for you to, if you did suddenly get rich, you still wouldn't be welcome in those sort of like wealthy circles because you wouldn't talk right. But like, my dad went to public school, so I've sort of inherited his accent a little bit, and even though like I've had that as well, so I kind of I didn't I sort of, I'm sure I didn't understand, so people at university, they say, what school did you go to? I wasn't quite I've never been at that level where I understand what that question means, like which private British school did you go to? Was it Eton, or was it I didn't understand that question. But that world, I could, the fact that people asked me that like means that I'm kind of passing for like potentially posh. I mean, my teeth give me away. Like, I had this tooth pulled out when I was 18, and I just never got it dealt with, and I was always so shy and anxious, and like it's not like I've found this easy, but I've definitely had a leg up, and when it comes to those life hacks, and when it comes to solving those problems, someone came to me a couple of weeks ago and said, "Hey, can we write a book together on belief hacking?" And I was like, kinda, maybe. Like, let me put some stuff down. Let's put some stuff together. But like, I'm coming to the realization that I don't really. I think it sort of plays into that self-help work of what individualizing social problems, individualizing systemic problems. If you change your outlook on how you look at life, then you will succeed in this world that is fundamentally sort of like aggressive to a lot of its inhabitants. Like, oh no, you just have to change your mindset and life hack and believe, and this is something that I have had the chance to develop my own techniques for, but that is a product of privilege, not I have some special insight, right? And you get a lot of people writing books and talking about their special insights into these things that help them do things. Like, I think the founder of Twitch, like the Justin guy, like he's like some billionaire now, like, or certainly a very rich guy, and that just gave him the ability to go away and find himself and learn how to be happy and learn what really matters in life, which most of us don't get to get, right? And that's just a product of, and then you want to sort of tell everyone your special secrets, but really the secret is anyone can like figure out their life if they're, have a bit of headspace and have a certain amount of support. And so the final like thing that allows me to be in this position is the welfare state. Like my dad was unemployed for years when I was younger, but because of welfare. I got to go to university for free. Like, I just had like maybe £4,000 in student loans over the 4 years I was there, because I retook my third year. So I was able to come out of university and have my student loans paid off by the time I was like 25 or something. Like, how many people have that now? So what I want to say is, like, social safety net, giving people the ability to sort of like find themselves and do these things. So I just want to really just focus that. Just say, yeah, this is all stuff anyone can figure out. Maybe not anyone, but like I do not have some special access to anything. I just have had I happen to have been born in the right place, when there was still a welfare state, to a family that that maybe had a little bit before but didn't anymore. And of course, like, yeah, the only other thing, I think I have a partner that has like is in a position to help, like, sort of not support me, but certainly means that I don't have to be worrying quite as much about paying rent, for example, as I would be if I didn't have her, especially. And then at the moment, like, how do I do this with a baby? Well, she's like taking nights, she's doing nights, so I'm able to keep this going. So I just want to say, like, my point here is, like, I think it's tempting to go, hey, I've done all these things and I'm getting somewhere and we're building a thing and I'm doing this thing every week and it's okay and things are coming together. But I just want to make sure that no one thinks that they couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want anyone to... I think everyone can do this if we change how we look at things. And that's something that I would very much like to see happen more. I don't know. So that's the tech. That's the process. And then the only reason that I get to have the tech or the process is the privilege. And that's, I just think, something that I wanted to just highlight today, really. This might be a shorter session, but I'm going to come through and to this final card and just say, hey, guys, like, I guess part of this talk was I want people to talk about what they're interested in. I'm, like, obsessed with this kind of stuff. I'm obsessed with, like, learning. I'm like, I think one of the things I'm finding most interesting over the last few years, since I started a podcast, actually, like, expanding my circle of empathy. The Guilty Feminist podcast was really helpful for me to be able to sort of understand, like, really actually start to understand what women are dealing with. And honestly, like, I'd never really understood it until recent years. And just, you have to get Deborah Francis right. She's funny. They have funny guests on, and they are able to sort of express that feminism in a way that, like, that is palatable and enjoyable and helps someone like me kind of go, okay, right, no, I get it, right, I'm there. And then you get people like ContraPoints and talking, and different YouTubers, and now TikTok is this gold, like this. It just gives me people's insights into people's lives that I could never have had otherwise. And so I I love like learning about other people's experiences and trying to expand my own circle of empathy. Like I want to, I'm listening to I'm finding out about I've started listening to this maintenance phase podcast, which is about like the dieting industry, and it's just like expanding your circle of empathy to okay, fat phobia is a thing, transphobia, homophobia, all these different phobias and different like subtle things that are going wrong. But it's just what the mission is to expand that circle of empathy so that everyone's a person and you don't sort of like dismiss people based on your initial sort of like reaction to them. But yeah, as such, I am looking for guests to talk. I want to hear about your world. I want to hear about what's interesting to you. I don't want you to try and like and that's, I think, the most interesting thing that anyone can I think I don't sorry, I got distracted by chat. I should never look at chat in the middle of a sentence. John just said, thanks about your privilege chat. I think this type of reflection is important to have. Yeah, like I'm always thinking about this. And I think I don't want to like undermine that I'm achieving things and getting things done, and this is an interesting thing. We've definitely got some interesting stuff going on here. But I think anyone can. And I just happen to have been lucky in many ways to have had the chance to sort of explore my ideas and fail, and then try again, and then maybe do a bit better the next time. But yeah, I want you to come on and I want you to use CueCam because I feel like it's a really fluid way to do a talk. And if you want to talk about something, or if you haven't got CueCam yet but you do want to come on, then I'm happy to do some deals. If I'm happy to sort of give you a little 3 months or something just to sort of come onto the show. I just want to hear from other people, and because I'm kind of sick of myself, to be honest. I'm kind of sick of seeing my face every week. I'm sick of hearing me talk about the same kind of thing, and I just want to like mix this up a bit. And we've got a couple of people, I've got a couple of people that are preparing, and I'm going to be like chasing you down to sort of hurry up and get something together so that we can go live. But I know it's a big deal to sort of put together a talk, but there's not that many people here, so it's pretty low pressure as well. So please do just reach out, and I'm Michael at squares.tv, and there's a Discord where we all hang out and talk about things, and I even saw a problem being solved without me having to even I honestly, it sort of went a bit over my head, some of the stuff that was on Discord last week, so especially with the baby sort of in the other hand, so yeah, like there's lots of stuff going on there, and lots of people helping out. So here's that's sort of, oh, do you know what, I didn't prepare. Let me find something to play us out. I'll just find us a little clip and see if I can find a video for us. While I just say, if anyone's got any thoughts or questions, I would love to hear what you have to say. If certainly about, yeah, like there's not. I'm doing a lot of work on the thing, so there haven't been any major changes to any of the apps this week. So, yeah, I just thought I'd take you through all that stuff. Maybe... What's this looking like? I'll show you this. I'll show you this, actually. And hopefully my app doesn't crash when I drag this in. Oh no, it's looking good. It's looking good. I just dragged the thing in. What I'm going to show you is a section of a music video that I commissioned back in 2017 for a song it's called from, do you know what? I'm suddenly like blanking on the name of my EP. So this is Swimming into Darkness. Darkness Trap Remix. So I'm going to show you a little bit of this video. This is something I commissioned. It was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. It's this animated video. It was, honestly, the storyboard was better than the final video, to be honest. It was so good. And it sort of follows this it sort of follows someone looking through the woods and sort of going through the kingdoms. And it's drawings by this artist I know called John Conway. I love his stuff, and the animator sort of brought together his style into this video, and we sort of journey through this world and sort of end up, he's sort of looking for his mother that's gone missing, and it sort of goes from there. So this is on my YouTube video, but I will to play us out. This is from 2017. Hopefully it's not too loud when it comes in. Swimming into Darkness trap remix with just a little snippet of it. The full video is on my YouTube, which is at Michael Forrest on YouTube, and hopefully you will get something out of this and enjoy it. And I will hopefully see you next time. It has been a quiet session, but thank you for being. Oh, if you do come across this video, please put a comment, please put a like, whatever. Like, do all that stuff. That's I do need to be asking more about this stuff. And then, yeah, thank you. All right. See you next time. Thanks, everyone.